This week on The Modified World, I'm going to tell you, how do you actually get a job being a professional body artist? So stick around. So welcome to The Modified World, the weekly web show about body modification, the people who do it, the people who get it, and why it matters. I'm your host, J.C. Potts, senior piercer over here at the world-renowned Pangea Piercing and the fellow who brought all this wacky videos to the internet. And this week, I'm going to be telling you how to get that first job in a shop. So one of the chief questions I get asked all the time, other than about ear stretching, is how do you get a job in a shop? Well, for those that don't know, I'm going to stop you at this point right now and let you in on something. If you think that you're going to get a job in a shop and make a ton of money, get to wear what you want, have fun, go out and have sex with a bunch of awesome people and party all the time, get to travel and stuff like that, then you are crazy. Honestly, if you do successfully enter into this industry, it'll be 10 years before most people even take you seriously. You're not going to make a lot of money. And when I say not a lot of money, I mean not enough to raise a family, buy a house, have a decent car, anything like that. You're not going to get health care insurance. You're not going to have economic security. So maybe I haven't scared you off of being a body art professional. Congratulations. That said though, how do you actually go about getting that all-important first job in a shop? Well, there's a few ways of going about it. The tried and true, and I hate to say it, it's what a lot of people do, is just kind of hack some things together, teach themselves, pick up here and there what they can, learn enough to be able to talk the talk, get a job in a crappy shop, work for a few years, and then go and sell electronics at some big box store or something like that. You don't want to go that route. You want to get an apprenticeship. Who you apprentice under has as much to do with your future career success as anything you actually do, because it's so much worse to be trained wrong than it is to not be even trained at all. Personally, I know when I'm looking for somebody who wants to apprentice, I'm a little leery of somebody who has previous piercing experience or who apprenticed under somebody else, because then they have to unlearn a whole bunch of bad habits that they shouldn't have gotten in the first place. So of course it's very, very important. You need to get an apprenticeship with somebody who actually has a proven track record, not only of quality piercing themselves, but of being able to actually teach somebody how to pierce. Me, myself, everybody I've ever taught how to pierce currently is in the body piercing industry and has done fairly well for themselves. Not everybody can do that. You'll see a lot of people offer these 2-3 week apprenticeship courses and they expect a certain amount of money for it. And look at the track record. How many of those people that they graduate actually wind up going on into the industry and having any kind of satisfying career? How do you select that person to get the apprenticeship from? Maybe that might be a whole nother video. That's probably actually the exact same stuff you would want to be doing to select a body artist. And maybe that's something for a future video. But as we're talking right now, the important thing is getting with somebody who's not going to take advantage of you, who's going to actually teach you what you need to know properly with safety first, and show you actually how to be able to make it in this world, because it's not what people actually think. Sometimes people are expecting you to pay for an apprenticeship, and that's somewhat fair in some respects, because somebody is teaching you essentially how to be their competitor. Also, there's time considerations and supplies and materials and all that actually has to go into teaching somebody, and so there should be some sort of compensation for it. The way it usually works is you either pay for it or you're expected to serve at a person's place of business after they've trained you for a determined length of time. Me, myself, an apprenticeship with me lasts 2 years, and you're expected to work for 2 years afterwards. You might think that sounds okay, and that's great, but like I said, the pay is pretty low, and the hours are long, and the respect is not high. Well, I'll tell you what, the idea of calling up to a shop, sending a bunch of emails to some poor guy who you've never even met, that doesn't work and will never work, and it shouldn't work.
Don't ask.
Like Pierre says, don't ask. If you had to ask, you probably weren't invited to the party. What you do, and I really shouldn't even tell you this because this is like giving the game away. What you do is you go take your friends to the guy that you want to learn from. Get everybody you know, go and get a piercing. Watch them get that piercing. Ask intelligent questions. Or don't even ask questions, just hang out and watch. Be a good client. Once you get to the point where you can start asking some questions, hell, ask the guy. Most piercers are more than happy to tell you exactly what they're doing. Now, after the 10th, 15th, 20th, however long it takes for somebody to notice you, once they notice, well, we pay attention. For instance, you might have seen Katie Wallach, my little counter girl around here. She started coming in when she was 13, bringing her friends, getting them pierced, watching, asking intelligent questions. I knew pretty early on that she was going to wind up being a professional in this industry. And I either better bring her on board my ship or she's going to be on board someone else's. And I really didn't want that. The other kid that's working up here, Brian, the nice fella who took my jacket, he did go about it a little different. He came in and actually did bother me a lot, but he was persistent. It wasn't an email. It wasn't a phone call. It was multiple trips up here over months and months and months, demonstrating that he's a quality person and that he's asked intelligent questions and he presents himself in a professional manner, not like some hoodlum or trying to be a cool kid or hang out with the cool kids or any of that type of stuff. Let's check back in with Brian Mann and find out what the experience working at Pangea has been like since he showed up.
Well, it's awesome. I enjoy it. Learning tons and tons about jewelry and piercings and how to sell jewelry to customers and treat them properly, and it's very fun. Everyone I work with is very fun and entertaining character.
How many times have you seen Pierre's penis?
Like 3 or 4.
He said he just claimed, for those that couldn't hear, he just claimed to have seen Pierre's penis 3 or 4 times. I find that kind of a small estimate. So say you skip to the end and you just wanted to get the gist of it, be a good client. Come around frequently. Spend some money. Ask some intelligent questions. And wait for them to offer you the apprenticeship. Trying to force the hand of fate never helps. Patience, persistence, and perseverance is what pays off. That's basically it. Anything else you'd have to do is usually you being taken advantage of, which isn't going to lead anywhere. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope maybe people will not ask me so many times, how do I get a job in a shop? If you haven't subscribed yet, you need to. We do this every Monday. That's right. Mondays instead of Fridays. So change your calendars up. We give away swag to engage subscribers. So be sure to subscribe and leave me a comment in the section down below telling me, what do you want to see? What would you like us to do? You like my suit? Let me know in the section down below. And hit us up on Tumblr, Twitter, Google+, Facebook, any other social media networks that you can think of. Follow me on Instagram at Pangea Piercing. And of course, we will see you next time for another edition of The Modified World.